this is Bhavna and you're watching India Today. Today I'm joined by someone who has been constantly pushing the boundaries and getting all the recognition that she truly deserves. Yes, I'm talking about Shalini Pandey, who was just seen in Maharaj. And what a performance. Firstly, a huge welcome on India Today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for
asking.
We
have done this. This is we pretend for the camera.
Yeah. I am good. Thank you. With Maharaj, I think it was such a moving piece of art for me personally because I felt like there's so much going on. It is such a courageous film to even make. But for you, because your character is something that is kind of driving everything, right? During the narrative, and to have certain scenes which can be, as an actor, very challenging to sort of portray. Now that you see people react the way they are, do you feel a bit validated?
It obviously feels good, yeah, because you're like, because anyways you're so worried about how the film is going to be perceived, how things are going to be perceived. So much, anyways, was happening. So when people started talking about it, and my friends and everyone like sat me down and shared their opinions about it, it felt nice. It felt, oh, they're taking it the way we wanted. We thought that they would, and we hoped that they would, and I genuinely don't read also a lot, so I don't really know exactly what's happening. I just know, like, maybe through you, through my team, through people around me, but whatever I know, I feel that they're talking.
They are actually being very, very appreciative of the work that you've done, especially, can we talk about that scene, because I feel that I was visibly disturbed after watching the Charan Seva, the scene which really hits off and sort of starts the revolution in ways, right? It's a very, and I know that you have already mentioned that it kind of was disturbing for you as well as an actor, but how do you process that? How do you approach that scene? Because the way it looks, it doesn't look, you have to be very comfortable while doing that, because the discomfort is not seen, because the character is not feeling that way at a certain point because of the faith that they have, right? I just want to understand your approach towards this scene specifically.
Actually, as you were asking, I was thinking what I was going through. When you're an actor, and this is what I went through when I was acting. Of course, I know all these people. I know I'm safe. So I will have no discomfort, right?
Right.
But the character is uncomfortable, but yet she's, Kishori is.
But I think she gets overwhelmed by the blind faith at a certain point.
Correct. Yeah. But what disturbed me is when I did that, right? When I did it, even and I thought to myself, these are the people that they're taking care of me. I'm the safest with them. But somehow it just hits you that, damn, this has happened to so many. So many would have gone through this. I can't even imagine. I can't even think that this could have been the reality or is still the reality. I don't know. That hit me. So when I did that scene is when I went out, and as I was telling you also before, I got really like, I did not know how to process. I had no idea how to process it because this was also the first time I was doing something like this, and I realized I did not know. I had no idea it was going to hit me like this, because I thought, you're an actor, you're supposed to do, and these are the people you trust and all. But when you do that and you think that, oh my God, we're enacting a scene. When this happened in the reality to someone, I don't know what that person must have gone through. And that's when I went out, and I was a little frazzled about it. And I think my team being the sweetest, shout out to Priyanka and Vardhan, they really took care of me.
But because you are today's girl as well as Shalini, and when you're portraying a character like that, there are constantly, I think we all do that, we have to constantly fight what Shalini believes in and what the character believes in sometimes, and especially in scenes like this or with characters like this, which you perhaps don't resonate with at a lot of levels. How do you kind of detach yourself from it completely? Because you are also someone who is very passionate about what you're doing, and for any passionate person to detach yourself completely from the character is very difficult. At least that is what I think.
Yeah.
Well, how did you do that?
That was my fear when I was doing Arjun Reddy, actually. That was my fear which I was, telling somebody also that when I did my first scene, that's how you're an actor, na? That's your job, to like detach yourself. If you can't do that, then you're not if even in your head you think you're an actor, that's the validation you need to have. So when I was doing the first scene of Arjun Reddy, I thought that, okay, now that I've taken such a bold step, I've come out of my house, I've told everybody I want to be an actor. What if? Because this Preeti is not me at all. And to just fight those instincts, because I'm not a trained actor, I have only done theatre where, of course, I've not done a lot of plays, but I've just been a part of the group. And nobody from my family comes from the filmy background, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how to approach a scene. I have no ABC of this. I was like, God, please tell me that I am an actor and that I was supposed to do this, because if I didn't give this scene and if I in my head couldn't convince myself that I can be someone else, no way I can be an actor. I can't be fooling people. I can't fool myself. Thank God it did. Okay? So when Arjun Reddy released, actually not just, even before Arjun Reddy releasing, a lot of people on set thought that I am this quiet, demure girl. Because I would behave like that, okay? I was like, okay, maybe I'm somebody who's very talkative. I'm somebody who goes and talks to everyone.
I can attest that.
Literally everyone. And I had to control all that in, because Sandeep had told me, you have to like dial down, right? So I used to test myself. Can I make people believe that I am this quiet, demure girl? That is what I was testing on myself, and I made everyone believe on the set, because by the end of it, they were like, oh, we thought you're this sweet girl who's actually like this. A lot of people believe that. I was like, no, I'm not this. I'm not at all this. That was when I believed that, okay, at least there's something that I can switch off in my brain. At least I don't know how. बोलते ना कला होती है बस.
That's true.
अब somehow कैसे है वो.
And then it is up to you how you use it eventually.
Yeah, true. You know, as you do your craft, you understand about your craft.
Yeah, true.
I was just very new and naive then, but that validation was very important for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have.
आपने इतना अच्छा validate कर दिया that every director now thinks that, at least most of them, because those are the kind of roles that you're offered.
But I please, sir, to anyone watching, to every director watching, I'm not like this. No, I'm not. Of course, I can be that, but I'm so much more. Also, you know.
Absolutely, that is exactly what I want to tell people. That you know, because typecast happens in both ways. While there's a certain kind of typecast which, like you, I mean, it's so difficult. You're good at it, but there's so much more to Shalini as an actor, which I think is still untapped.
Yeah, I genuinely love to explore that.
Yeah, me too. I would love to see you in a very different role as well. But like I said, for you to detach perhaps but when the politics of the character sort of comes into play, or when you sort of don't agree with a lot of things that the character is doing, especially in case of Maharaj, because I felt myself at crossroads a lot of time where I understand where the character is coming from, but at the same time, as the audience, you want to like go in and tell them that please like stop, like what are you doing, especially in scenes where she's sort of unconvinced herself but trying to explain why she did what she did.
Yeah.
And I could see the dilemma in the character, but also I want to understand, as Shalini, how do you deal with those dilemmas, where, especially in a project like this, because this is also a very, very sensitive film. So you know that you cannot have too many crossroads there as well. You have to sort of submit. But that can be a little like difficult or challenging perhaps.
It can be, because what I do is the basic of it is to sit with your director, discuss what he wants, what I want, and what is the mid ground of this. And when I'm convinced, when he convinces me, is when then I have to give myself all. I don't know. Because I don't know any other way. I don't know, nobody has trained me in any other way. This is the only way that I've been doing since Arjun Reddy, is just to surrender and be that. Of course, understand from your director what he wants, and also reading it, make your own Kishori, right? Now to fight it, your instincts, because my instincts will come, right?
Absolutely.
I zone out somehow. I don't know how I do it. I zone out. I think that's how actors do it, because I used to also think about it, how is someone doing something when I would see brilliant actors acting out a scene, when I'm like, I don't think this person is like that. Of course, if you're doing a murder scene, you're not a murderer, But how do you convince yourself to be that brutal?
Absolutely.
It sometimes scares you also, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is something. It somehow, you know, it's beautiful also, because then you get to know about yourself in such like untapped versions of you, that you realize, oh, this is what I'm capable of. This is what I also feel. This is what it can do to me. There's so much happening. That's what I'm telling you. It's very chaotic inside my head, but somehow you have to deliver it.
But you delivered it amazingly, honestly.
you,
I think, Shalini, because when I was watching, another thing parallelly I was thinking is, how did she really pull off a scene like this? Also to have, I mean, come on, Jaideep as a co-actor
very good.
then.
Of course.
I mean,
Of
tell me,
course.
how much did you sort of like discuss it with him as well? Because one, that scene has him, he's just smiling throughout. Like, to every question, there's a smile, which is very sinister.
Yeah. Scary.
You know, I want to know, did you discuss, like, were there any, I'm sure rehearsals did happen, but how much time did it take for
Actually,
both
no
of you?
rehearsals
There was
happened.
none? Oh.
None.
Okay.
No discussion. Of
You all
course,
just like,
Jaideep and I, he's such a good actor, you know. You're just reacting to what he's doing. And actually, Kishori is literally reacting to what he's doing. He's very good. He's just a very good actor. And I think a lot of times we discuss with our co-actors, but somehow it didn't happen. We didn't discuss and it just happened.
okay.
It was just, I think he would have discussed it with
The director.
Siddharth.
Yeah.
Siddharth would have discussed it with me. But Jaideep and I never sat down and discussed ki, acha, this is how we're going to approach it. This is how I'm going to do. I'm also somebody that I like if it's happening also a little naturally and not planned.
Right.
I react better when things are not planned. Sometimes when you're too planned, it does not work very well with me.
Absolutely.
So I think it worked for the scene.
Perhaps why it looks natural,
Yeah.
because the dilemma looks like, okay, fine. Yeah, I as an audience, I resonate with that
Yeah.
dilemma there.
Yeah.
But you know, Siddharth in an interview said that because, of course, there were a bit of concerns about the fact that she sees her sister, Kishori sees her sister, and within like, it's like just in a snap of moment, she realizes that, oh my God, all of this that I was believing in was actually blind faith. For any realistic character to sort of have that is slightly like appalling, right? Like there's a graph which each character goes.
Yeah.
How did you question Siddharth on these things, at least in the back? Because he said that in a film we can only do that much, like, you know, we can only show it like. But did you have these concerns as well?
You know what, how I see it, and see, he's also, that's his, obviously as a filmmaker, that's his take, that it's also a film that he needs to be
In a
taking
certain
you know, characters, graph and all of that. You know, I had to convince myself
that it can happen.
It
in
can
a snap.
happen. You know how I took it is when this Kishori, also you're a little, as human beings, we're a little, I feel, hypocrites, okay?
We all are.
Yeah? Not in the most bad way, but like, you're like, I think the way she also, before that, there's a scene where she's like admiring herself and she's like, JJ ki ladli. She's believed that she's the special and chosen one. She believes that she's above everyone, right? In her head. So when that happens, ek to, it feels like a lover has cheated on her in a way where that is a different kind of love, right? That has cheated on her, and also a younger sister, because I have a younger sister. When you have a younger sister, you treat them like your own child. And to see all of that happening, you're like, this is disturbing. Now you don't, it's not necessarily important that you've processed it all and you're like, this is wrong, but I'm sure there's a lot of anger and the heat
It's a
of
more
moment.
impulsive reaction.
More impulsive reaction in the heat of moment where you realize ki, oh, I mean, this is all wrong. Maybe not ki in the right processed way wrong, but wrong in the sense, you're not supposed to do this to my sister, you made me feel this, you're wrong, and maybe later she would have realized on her own, that's my understanding, you know,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that is when she
writes
says
the
that,
letter and you know, all of that. I mean,
It
of
makes
course,
sense,
we don't
I mean.
see Kishori doing that because now that's the director's vision and take to what cut and what edit, but in just my head, I had to make myself believe that.
No, but I completely agree. I mean, that came across as something which is more like sudden and impulse in that moment, because just right before that in the scene, she is literally admiring in ways and just being happy about the fact that she's the chosen one. And
I feel when you're too hurt,
Yeah.
you just randomly say things.
Absolutely.
And you say things to hurt somebody, And in this situation, the other person was wrong anyway.
Yeah.
So she just, I had to like give
But
myself that.
now that you put
Yeah.
it like that, I
Yeah.
feel that it's quite understandable.
Yeah.
But also Shalini, I'm always curious to know, because
Yeah.
if anyone follows the filmography, the body of work that you have done,
Yeah.
you have always chose projects which have been different, but at the same time, I don't see a calculation there. Like, I don't see...
I haven't, because
Yeah, and in a time when every actor more or less looks at every next project, and there's a lot of calculation that goes behind it, how do you remain the way you are? Because again, like I said, it's very difficult to find that kind of an outlook and approach in today's time.
मैं बहुत गलतियाँ करती हूँ पर उसमें. Then I say, because I'm not calculated, I don't see the other aspects, and I just go with my gut feeling. So sometimes I might make okay
mistakes,
choices,
yeah.
choices, but sometimes I just make the most poor choices. So I just don't know I just don't know any other way, because I don't discuss it with anyone. I don't have that. Not that I'm complaining, I'm okay with it, but it's just that I am not somebody who plans a lot.
Yeah.
It also comes with that. I'm not somebody who thinks logically a lot.
Correct.
I think I give my heart a little too importance, but that also sometimes is wrong.
Yeah.
And just
especially in this industry.
Of course.
But it's a great thing to have, to be very honest. I mean, you're a stellar debut with Arjun Reddy, which went on to do great numbers. And then the projects that you chose, I mean, any other person would have just continued that stint and go on for the most commercial project every time. But you have taken risks within the projects that were given to you. And even with when you decided to do your Hindi film, I think you just went on with the project which offered you, a way to sort of experiment with the characters that you're doing, instead of going for the most viable and most commercial project out there. Again, was it something that happened naturally, or these were the only offers that came to you and that is why this happened?
I have, also, like I said, I just am somebody, if I genuinely have this instinct that I want to do it, I do it, not thinking too much about it. And I've genuinely said also no to certain things that I shouldn't have. I feel that now.
Okay. Like a big budget commercial film, perhaps.
Yeah, but I shouldn't.
I like that response.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I get that. But that's how my trajectory has been. Now that I've started thinking about things differently, actually, now I've actually started thinking about things with bigger perspective, right? Not just my instinct. Of course, my instinct. I will treasure my instinct. But the other things of it as well. Because you have to cater to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And a bigger audience, right? I want people to watch my work. I want people to see me in different aspects. And there will be things that I might believe and not believe, but I still have to do it, and I should be okay doing it.
Yeah.
So I think I've gotten there. That's my whole thing right now.
No, because I feel that, I mean, again, going back to the first film, because I feel that Arjun Reddy was well received. There was no reason for you to not get the kind of acclaim and recognition which Kiara got after Kabir Singh. It just took off.
Yeah.
The career trajectory that you see of Kiara after that and before that is completely different.
Yeah.
For you, that should have been the case.
But I was really body shamed, na?
Back then. Do you think that is why it...
I think so too.
Yeah.
And also, I think since you're so new, down the south, I don't understand the language. Whatever my managers back then, which, also I feel this is when your family comes at play, that they support you and they protect you. There was no one, not that I'm trying to be literally a victim, but actually maybe that was my trajectory, right? They just kind of, I feel, took advantage of my naivety and made me do things which I have not read those scripts, right? I just believe, because I did not know any better. I actually did not know any better. And I was constantly understanding and trying to understand what people want from me. I was body shamed through and through. Then I became, and I've always been thin, right? And thin, matlab, it's not about thin. I've always been into sports.
Yeah.
So I've always had a little...
And an athletic body, yeah.
Athletic body. So when I became, now that I'm in my body, in whatever body I am in, they make fun. I get body shame for this also, by the way.
But now body shaming
of
is like if you're thin, then
Yeah,
how
yeah.
much thin
How
is too
thin?
thin?
Yeah.
And if you are healthy, then how much healthy is too healthy? There are no lines.
So I don't give any.
But as an actress, I'm sure it's more daunting.
It affected me much more before. But now I'm pretty okay with it. I'm like, you will die to have a body like me.
Absolutely.
It's not about the way I look. It's about the fitness that I have.
Yeah.
I give importance to my fitness. I make sure that my body for the longer time should be,
Yeah.
I should be able to sustain, right?
Absolutely.
And be able to do things, walk, do things on my own. That's what my thing is in my head regarding my body. It's not about thin, thick, whatever. It's about how fit you feel.
Absolutely.
And I don't give any care about it now.
But do you think that could be one of the solid reasons for you not really like back then like taking off?
I don't know actually. I can't complain because honestly, I've had a good life only. Yeah? I mean, I wanted to become an actor. Of course, I made my mistakes. But those were the mistakes that got me wherever I had to. I don't see it actually like that what did I do wrong? I don't, maybe that was my trajectory. That was supposed to be it. And I see every day as new day. And the only thing that I believe in is I need to keep working.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be here for a reason. I do believe it, that I genuinely don't think I would have been anything but an actor. I would have been best only at this because I had no plan B. I was just too sure about this. I don't know how.
But also I want to understand, because of late the kind of characters that you're playing, I see a change in the way you're also looking at them. For example, of course they have a certain arc to them, but there is a message, be it Jayesh by Zordar, there was such a strong message there as well. Even here, is it important for you now that whenever a character, whatever arc they may have, that eventually has a redemption or at least some strength that you are able to show with that character, or does that morality of the character or where they are coming from does not matter as long as you are convinced as an actor about what you're doing?
I'd love to do that. And if there's something else that doesn't like go with my belief system, if you convince me, then I'm okay with that. It literally that something that doesn't sit well with me, and if a director sits me down and if his vision is so strong that he convinces me to do it, and I'm also like hyped up enough to do it because I'd get to show different variety, then I would not mind doing it. But having said that, there has to be something. It cannot be just.
Yeah.
I mean, I would want to have a little arc in graph. I would want to see where the character is growing. I need to, because as an actor, otherwise I'll be bored, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's what I think I look for.
Okay, in the last 7 years now, Shalini, what has changed about you as an actor which you're very proud of?
What has changed about me?
As an actor which you're very proud of, and something you really wish you could change in the coming years? I think one would be perhaps get more in touch with the fans who really like sort of shower you with love and
I
appreciation.
love them. They're amazing.
Because
Such
in
loyal people.
because in today's time
Yeah.
to not be very active on social media is almost considered a crime.
Yeah, I know. No, it's just that I have tried. Genuinely, I have tried. I'm also very moody, so there are days where I'm like interacting this and that, but very few days.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love them. My way of also expressing love as a human being with even my friends, it's not everyday talking, not everyday chatting. It's just I love them. I just might not show them enough, but when I show them and when I meet, when I talk, that's fulfilling for me. I don't need to get on a call with them every day. That's how I am as a human being, and I think that reflects. But what have I learned?
Yeah.
What I want to change also. What am I proud of? One thing that I think has been there and I've maintained it unknowingly, which can also not be a very good thing, because I don't see the monitor at all, okay? At all. So I don't even know if I'm doing anything like I'm not supposed to. Like sometimes you need to know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm zero.
Because there are certain actions which are very involuntary, you do that.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
But I just don't have the habit. I don't go and see at all what's happening. So till the time the film is getting made or whatever is getting made, I have zero perspective of what's happening. I just know my character is doing this. Of course, this is getting made, but I just don't know how it's coming out.
Yeah.
And I don't see my films. एक ही बार देखती हूँ मैं. पता नहीं, मैं उसके बाद नहीं देखती हूँ. I don't know why am I like this, and it's not that कि नहीं देख पा रही हूँ, not like this, but just genuinely I'm just somehow.
But has that work against you? Because to not have a full perspective of how it's been shaping up on. I mean, of course, you surrender it to the director, but that's not always the wise thing. Also,
it's not the wise thing always. I've just started to realize this is one thing that I would like to change and get better with, because I don't think that's the best thing. And it's not that I'm trying to do that, just genuinely like that, where I'm just like, which some people would come and tell me, wow, you're so confident that you go and don't go and check the monitor. I'm like, it's not confidence. It's just that it's neither confidence nor it is ki I feel that if I see I'll be too critical. I just don't have the habit. I feel I'm here to do my job, and I trust everybody blindly that they're doing their job absolutely amazing.
Did you just not learn from Maharaj? Blind faith is not
good. I learnt, and I should not. This is what I want to get better about me.
Yeah.
I think I should work on it.
I mean, like, ये film का पूरा point ही वो था कि blind faith is
like, you do your job, and I like थोड़ा तो देख लो यार what's happening.
I think it gives you a perspective of where this is going, and sometimes you can really discuss it with the director if you think that this is
you must. You should. I've realized that you should, in fact. This is one thing that I'm very next project.
And also please don't take so much time to come back on screen.
I don't want to.
What is happening with you?
Happening.
What does it, I mean, does it get upsetting? Because as an audience, it is very upsetting to see that, okay, fine, she's done all this work, but it's taking years, and 2 years, 3 years is a long time. Sometimes, I think that was the argument which happened with Jayesh Bhai Zordar, that it's a film which was well made, well intended, but people felt it was 2 years dated, which it was, because it was supposed to come at a certain different timeline altogether, and it's no one's fault, it's just the timeline, right? As an actor who's part of projects like those, how do you process all of that? Because it's a lot to take in as well.
Of course I get upset. Of course it feels like, because you're in that whole mood. You've done the project, you're like moving on, you want the project to come out, and then it takes time. Of course it upsets you. But then, I think I've come to terms with the fact that whatever I can control, let's control that. Maybe this is how it's supposed to be, and I think I can't do. What can I do? Like, should I break my head on that? No, but like, this is the reality. But I hope now it doesn't happen like that. I hope I do stuff back to back.
Absolutely.
And it comes out back to back.
Let's manifest that more than anything else. But I think only good things for you, Shalini, because I think with Maharaj, people have obviously, not that they have not done that before, but I think with this, they can really see the potential that you have as an actor, because it was definitely not an easy role to pull off. And here's hoping that more and more different projects come to you, so that we can see different facets of Shalini on screen.
That too. Yes.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.